it great to straight away get stuck into a painting without mixing up paint? This is where soft pastels come into their own. Simply blow away any loose pastel when you're done and press down with tissue paper, keeping it very still, and your pastel paintings can last for centuries in this way. Hi everyone, I'm sketching clouds on Canson Mi-Teintes Touch pastel paper, 350 grams. It's a lovely paper with different colours, and it's brilliant for using a water or paint spray over the pastels for a rustic loose feel with plenty of texture. I've got some lovely juicy colours in light, medium and dark tones, but I've chosen a few here that I'm going to be using, and I've chosen a lovely brown shade which will give depth to this little sketch. I've done my tonal sketch showing the light and the medium and the darker tones in quite a pleasing pattern. I'm going to start by putting in the bluish sky around the clouds in a negative painting style. Which means painting around the clouds, which is a rather fun way of doing it. But I'm not using the reference photo perfectly. I'm using artistic license because I find that more fun and easier. So I'll just come down there, and then I'm going to add some lavender, sort of violet shade, I guess you'd call it. As with watercolour, it's all a bit random really, so just paint how you feel, I find is the best way, and see what happens. That's when I'm spontaneous painting, which is a bit what I'm doing at the moment. It just makes a change doing pastel from watercolour, but this paper is brilliant for using both of them together. Or even acrylic inks. Maybe we can do that another time. So I'm just smudging the background in. I've sort of suggested vaguely where the clouds might go. When using a darker shade of this pastel paper, or any pastel paper, the colours can look different than if you're using a lighter paper. Like this lighter paper here. For instance, if you're using a black paper, this is quite a thin pastel paper, which is fine, but not so good with mixed media because it'll just cockle. But these are the same colours I used, and maybe you can see that this is the same colour, but it shows much darker on the lighter paper. So yes, it's worth just having a little practice first if you're not sure how things are going to turn out. It's got quite a bit of tooth on this as well. It's a bit like sandpaper, and so it takes lots of layers of pastel, which is good. And remembering perspective, so that when the clouds are in the distance they tend to look much thinner and close together, and as they come nearer they look much bigger. And that creates a feeling of depth, this aerial perspective. I'm putting in the base of the clouds, which in a nice purple to start with. So, representing the shadows, and then as we go into the distance, they become closer together. And I'll just put the foreground in a little bit, just dragging the pastel, making marks, just suggesting marks. I know they're mauve, the hills, but we can mix on paper, and it's sort of like late afternoon, I think this. I like to think this little sketches. This is a nice colour, blue-grey, so I'll lay that on the top. Of this first sort of hill. I'm majoring on the clouds there, so I won't go into detail really. This is the focal area. And here, I always try to put the focal area not right in the middle, not too near the edge, so like a rule of thirds. If you divide your paper into 3, then where it intersects, you've got 4 little areas where you can put the centre of your focus. So I think I'm going to add, this is slightly darker now. You can break the pastel, which I think I'm going to do now. This is a nice Rembrandt one, but it's too long for me for this purpose. So on its side. Clouds are quite random, so they're very easy, a bit like trees. There's no sort of right or wrong particularly, because they're always changing as well. So if you paint them live, it's quite difficult to get them exactly. The thing I find is to paint with just an idea in mind and not get too fussy about detail. That's, everyone paints differently, different styles, but I find it easier, and I get fresh results from not. I don't want to get bogged down with too much detail, but I think detail is very beautiful, and as I say, everyone has their different ways of painting. There is no right or wrong. It's all about having fun, enjoying yourself doing it, and one can't really think of one's cares when one is busy painting and having fun. Thank you for watching. I hope I've inspired you. If you like this video, please like and or subscribe.